Okay. Marriage madness. Okay. For over 30 years, we said to each other, I love you. But is this really enough? We fight over trivial things because when you spend day in and day out with the same person year after year, you end up bugging the shit out of each other. I complain, you pick your nose and scratch your crotch. And you wear clothes that even the homeless don't want.
She picked this shirt
All right. This actually is a serious story, but anyway. I slap you hard with my cutting comments. You're not going to wear that, are you? Don't eat off my plate. You're the crappiest driver ever. Dogs give less slobbery kisses than you. You patiently change your clothes, try not to tailgate the driver in front of us, and hope your kisses aren't as slobbery. But in many ways, you are wonderful. You love our two daughters more than any father can. You were with me 100% when my dad died, my mom died, when Lenore, Joni, and Judy died. You read them stories and held their hands and comforted me as they took their last breaths. Yet lulled back into the complacency of everyday living, our arguments escalate. I cry. You talk over me and make jokes about me at my expense. You shout that I don't appreciate all you do for me. The anger ebbs and flows with the cresting and receding of daily stresses until one day it reaches a breaking point with me exclaiming that I can't take it anymore.
Good going. That wasn't
Actually, this is a serious part, but I'll keep going. I run to the computer and I start filling out the online application for a divorce. It's so simple and quick. It's really true, it is. I've almost completed it in 10 minutes flat, even with you pleading with me not to do it. So serious. I run to the bathroom and get sick. Okay. Because the truth is, I can't bear not to be with you. You know how to make me laugh to my core when I'm down, and you get my obscure jokes and really laugh when no one else does. You love me in spite of my temper, bad moods, and my clean freak habits. I don't know that anyone else would put up with me and still love me as much as you do. That's not the end. Sorry, it keeps going. Sorry.
He's an angel.
He is an angel. So in 2005, when keeps going. Sorry. In 2005, when you were working in Angola, West Africa, you were to meet me and the girls in Paris, the halfway point between San Francisco and Cabinda. There was a strike by the local offshore workers, and you weren't sure if you were going to be able to get out because the tensions were high and some of the local guys in your group were being threatened to join the strike or else.
Sorry, Rick.
This is boss from Africa. But they stood behind you and the company enlarged because of how much they respected you. For the first couple of days in Paris, I roamed the city with the girls, but my thoughts were of you and whether you'd make it out to be with us. I went to the nearest internet cafe, one filled with guys staring at porn on the dozen or so computer screens. I would leer over them until one of them would get annoyed enough to give up the computer so I could email you to see what your status was. Finally, on the night of the second day, I received an email from you saying that you were running to catch a flight from Cabinda to Luanda and then on to Paris, hopefully. I woke up early and wandered onto Rue Debussy, the street outside the flat we had rented, a street where I was the sole occupant that morning. As I leaned against the shuttered windows and doors of the building that in a little while would be open to transform the street into a bustling event of activity with vendors selling souvenirs, sidewalk cafes, and patisseries catering to crowds of tourists, I thought about how the street had been visited daily in times past by such souls as Voltaire and Victor Hugo and Benjamin Franklin, Picasso, Hemingway, Sartre, Camus, and Rimbaud.
Rick.
Not Rick yet. Not I miss sharing this contemplative moment with you. Just then, my thoughts were interrupted by the shouting of an old woman as she ambled down the street. She was being harassed by a scraggly dog belonging to a man hungover from drink, who I could hear pleading with the owner of a cafe down the road, who was trying to open for the day, to please provide him a cup of coffee. You didn't need to speak French to know that the woman was yelling, "Come get your damn dog off of me!" The man shouted back that he needed his coffee first, and she kept shouting back to come and get the damn dog, until the cafe owner, who held the trump card, insisted the man go get the dog, or he wouldn't give the man his coffee. Had you been there, I knew you would be laughing out loud, uproariously, at the comic absurdity of it all. Suddenly the street was eerily quiet. A taxi appeared, and first I couldn't make out who the passenger was. But then you quickly stepped out with a joyful look on your face. We both stood there staring at each other, and something inside me told me that you knew exactly what I had been experiencing that morning in that quiet Parisian street. And in that moment, really just a split second in time, I fell in love with you all over again. Well, maybe that's the secret to keeping a marriage alive, that from time to time you encounter periodic, unforeseen moments when you're lucky enough to fall in love with each other all over again.
Rubbing the shoulders down
Yay!
on the kiss department.
My turn. My turn. I love you, man.
So you don't have quick back cake?
We went to see Palm Springs last night.
And suddenly the power goes out. Well, so I didn't know the story that was going to be told tonight. So I did not know. I had not participated in its construction. I think it's a wonderful story. I think it reflects our marriage, which is a wonderful, full-bodied thing. And it's hot, just like my wife. And I'll say this. If you had told me 30 years ago, when we first got married, that I would end up in a room full of friends, married to this wonderful woman with my two lovely daughters and all of you as friends, I would have laughed out loud and said, "That's too good. It probably won't happen. I'm thinking it's a double wide and Concord." Fortunately, Jan was in charge and she steered it in another direction. And that's all I can say is I am glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with all my friends. I'm glad that my wife and I are in love, and I'm looking forward to the next 30. All right.
Oh, what? No, they don't actually. Well, my stepmom produces Dr. Phil. That's about it. Yeah.
My niece and her husband didn't pass the bar. And she was in San Francisco, so it was like, on the third time he passed the bar, but they moved down to LA.
Yeah.
And one of their